Ladies and gentlemen, focus is not merely a habit, it is a law of success. It is the unseen force that separates ordinary lives from extraordinary legacies. When a person discovers the power of focus, they begin to live intentionally, not accidentally. Focus is the master key to purposeful living. It is not merely a matter of attention, but a profound decision of the heart and mind to pursue meaning over motion. In a world that constantly demands our energy, time, and emotions, focus becomes the filter that separates what is essential from what is merely urgent. Without focus, potential remains dormant. A person may be talented, intelligent, and even well-intentioned, but if they lack focus, they will find themselves busy but ineffective, constantly in motion but never moving forward. Purposeful living does not begin with action, it begins with clarity. And clarity is birthed through focus. You cannot hit a target you do not see, and you cannot see clearly unless you learn to focus your vision. Many people wander through life reacting to circumstances rather than responding to calling. They go where life takes them, not where they were destined to go. But the one who is focused wakes up every day with intentionality. They know what to say yes to, and more importantly, what to say no to. Focus channels your energy. Just as sunlight, when scattered, warms a surface, but when concentrated through a lens can start a fire, so too can a focused life ignite transformation. Scattered energy leads to average results. Concentrated effort produces excellence. Focus allows you to pour your entire being into a specific direction, unlocking momentum and compounding growth. It is not that focused people work harder, they work smarter. They align their time with their assignment. Without focus, even good things can become the enemy of great things. We live in an age of opportunity overload where distraction disguises itself as opportunity. But focus gives you the wisdom to discern what aligns with your purpose and what pulls you away from it. Focused living is not rigid, it is intentional. It means you measure your activities against your assignment. You do not chase applause. You pursue alignment. Living with focus also preserves emotional energy. When you are scattered, your mind is cluttered. You feel overwhelmed, exhausted, and unsure. But when you focus, you find clarity, you find peace, you find direction. You are no longer living to survive each day. You are living to fulfill destiny. The focused person does not ask, what can I do today? But what must I do today that moves me closer to purpose? Ultimately, focus is a decision. It is not given, it is chosen. You must choose to guard your time, protect your vision, and discipline your mind. You must choose to silence the noise and elevate the voice of purpose within you. Because when you focus, you live with intention, you live with clarity, and most of all, you live with power. Purpose without focus is like a dream without discipline. It fades. But purpose with focus, that is a force that changes lives and shapes legacies. Focus clarifies vision. Vision without focus is like a camera with a blurred lens. No matter how beautiful the subject, it cannot be captured clearly. The same is true in life. You can have a vision, a dream, or even a deep sense of purpose, but without focus, that vision remains fuzzy and directionless. Focus sharpens your inner eye. It removes the fog of distractions and enables you to see what truly matters with precision and depth. In every great life, there is a turning point where clarity replaces confusion. That turning point is always marked by focus. A focused person is not overwhelmed by options. They are guided by purpose. They don't need to explore everything because they've seen something that matters more than everything else. Vision is not just about seeing what is ahead, it's about knowing where to go. Focus is the compass that helps navigate that vision with confidence. When you are focused, your decisions change. You no longer live reactively, responding to every demand or trend. Instead, you begin to make choices aligned with where you're going. You know what belongs in your life and what doesn't. Your goals become specific. Your plans become actionable, and your progress becomes measurable. Focus eliminates the unnecessary so that the necessary may speak. People often fail not because they lack vision, but because they lack focus. They allow good things to steal attention from the right things. Focus helps you protect the vision that has been placed within you. It keeps you from being lured by shortcuts or sidetracked by immediate gratification. You begin to understand that not every opportunity is yours, not every invitation is meant to be accepted, and not every voice deserves your attention. Focus turns dreams into direction. It breaks large ambitions into daily steps. Instead of being overwhelmed by the size of your vision, you are empowered by the clarity of your next move. You see your priorities. You sense your season. You embrace your pace. And in doing so, you begin to build a life of intentional growth. The most powerful aspect of focus is how it transforms your inner world. It brings order to your thoughts. It gives peace to your emotions. It awakens courage in your spirit. When your vision is clear, your passion is ignited. You no longer need external motivation. You are moved by internal conviction. You live with a why that is greater than every how. Focus also keeps your vision pure. It helps you resist the temptation to imitate others or compare your journey. A focused vision is not borrowed, it is born. It is personal. And when you stay committed to that clarity, you begin to live a life of integrity, where your actions, values, and goals are aligned. So if your vision feels distant or unclear, perhaps the issue is not the vision, it is the focus. Focus your thoughts. Focus your time. Focus your energy, and watch how your vision becomes not only visible, but achievable. Distraction is the enemy of destiny. It is not always failure that keeps people from fulfilling their purpose. It is often the subtle, persistent pull of distraction. Distraction doesn't have to be evil to be destructive. It simply needs to shift your focus just enough to detour you from the path of purpose. Many people think they are on the right track because they are busy, active, and involved. But being busy is not the same as being effective. You can be running fast in the wrong direction, and it's only when you step back and evaluate your focus that you realize how far you've drifted. Destiny demands undivided attention. It calls for a level of intentionality that refuses to be hijacked by noise. In today's world, distraction comes not just from the external environment, but also from within. Doubt, fear, comparison, and insecurity. These internal distractions are just as dangerous as any outward interference. They cloud judgment, drain energy, and slow momentum. When your mind is scattered, your spirit is unsettled and your direction becomes unstable. Distraction is a thief. It does not only steal time, it steals clarity, consistency, and confidence. You might have noticed that every time you gain momentum toward a goal, something unexpected competes for your attention. These moments are not coincidences, they are tests. The test is whether your desire for purpose is stronger than the appeal of convenience or comfort. Those who reach their destiny are not those who never face distraction, but those who choose not to yield to it. It is important to understand that distraction is not always loud. Sometimes it is disguised in the form of a good opportunity, a comfortable routine, or a familiar voice. That is why discernment is vital. You must train yourself to recognize what aligns with your assignment and what subtly pulls you away from it. You must learn the discipline of pruning, removing not only what is harmful, but even what is harmless if it doesn't support your growth. Greatness is not achieved through mere talent or ambition. It is achieved through focus protected from distraction. The most successful people are not necessarily the smartest or most gifted. They are simply those who learn to silence the noise and move forward with steady purpose. They did not allow detours to become destinations. They did not allow delays to become distractions. They understood that every minute given to distraction is a minute taken from destiny. To guard against distraction, you must be intentional about your environment. Surround yourself with people who respect your focus and encourage your discipline. Build routines that support your goals rather than sabotage them. Train your mind to stay on course, especially when results are not yet visible. Destiny is fulfilled one focused decision at a time. Every day, every hour, you are either moving closer to your purpose or further from it. So ask yourself, what is distracting you from your destiny? What are you giving time to that doesn't serve your future? Eliminate it. Because the more you remove distractions, the clearer your path becomes, and the faster you move toward your purpose. True focus requires discipline. It is one thing to want to be focused, but it is another thing entirely to cultivate the consistent habits and self-control that focus demands. Discipline is the foundation upon which focus is built. Without discipline, focus becomes fleeting, a momentary spark rather than a steady flame. The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who don't often comes down to the simple, yet profound, ability to discipline their mind and actions daily. Discipline trains the mind to resist what is good in pursuit of what is best. This is a key principle many people overlook. Life constantly offers us distractions and temptations that seem harmless or even beneficial. The social media scroll, the tempting shortcut, the just one more indulgence, all of these can pull us off track. Discipline empowers you to say no to these good things because you understand that they stand in the way of your greater goal. It is the practice of choosing long-term benefit over short-term gratification. Moreover, discipline is not about perfection, but about persistence. You will not always feel motivated or inspired, and that is where discipline becomes your greatest ally. When enthusiasm wanes, discipline keeps you moving forward. It is the internal command that tells you to get up, to focus, to keep working, even when the outcome is not immediately visible. It builds momentum, and momentum, once gained, propels you through obstacles and fatigue. Focus without discipline is like a car without an engine. You may have a clear destination, but you won't move unless you have the power to drive. Discipline fuels focus and keeps it on course. It creates structure in your day, helps you set boundaries, and trains your attention to avoid distractions. Discipline means creating habits that serve your vision, such as dedicating time to your priorities, managing your environment, and protecting your mental space from unnecessary noise. Discipline also shapes character. When you discipline yourself to focus, you develop patience, resilience, and confidence. You learn to trust in your ability to manage your impulses and commitments. This trust deepens your focus because you no longer doubt your capacity to stay the course. You begin to see yourself as someone who can be counted on to finish what they start. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate discipline is through daily rituals. These rituals act as anchors, reminding your mind and body that focus is not a choice you make once, but a habit you practice repeatedly. Whether it's waking up early, setting clear goals for the day, or eliminating distractions like unnecessary notifications, these small but consistent actions build a framework within which focus can thrive. Ultimately, true focus is not a one-time achievement, it is a lifestyle. It requires daily discipline, intentional choices, and a willingness to sacrifice lesser pleasures for greater rewards. It means understanding that focus is not about doing everything, but about doing the right things consistently. When discipline becomes the soil in which your focus is planted, your vision has the best chance to grow strong and bear fruit. Focus multiplies impact. When you concentrate your energy, time, and resources on a single goal or purpose, the results are exponentially greater than when you scatter your efforts across many directions. This principle is like the difference between a flashlight and a laser beam. A flashlight spreads light over a wide area, illuminating many things dimly. A laser focuses that same light into a narrow, powerful beam that can cut through steel. The focused person harnesses their potential in such a way that what they accomplish is not just more, but significantly better. Multiplying impact through focus begins with understanding the power of concentrated effort. When your attention is divided, your progress slows because you're constantly shifting gears, losing momentum, and starting over. However, when your mind, body, and spirit are all aligned toward one purpose, your actions become more effective. You learn faster, adapt better, and execute with precision. This creates a momentum that builds on itself, propelling you forward with increasing speed. In practical terms, focus allows you to develop mastery. When you dedicate yourself fully to one craft, project, or goal, you deepen your skills and understanding. This depth of expertise makes your work stand out and increases your influence. People are drawn to those who have clarity and proficiency because it inspires confidence and trust. Focused individuals become leaders in their fields because they refuse to dilute their efforts. Moreover, focus empowers you to maximize the resources you have. Time, energy, and money are limited, but focus ensures they are invested wisely. When your efforts are scattered, resources are wasted on less important tasks or distractions. But when focus is maintained, every resource is used purposefully, yielding higher returns. This efficiency is a hallmark of success. Focus also enhances creativity and innovation. When your mind is not cluttered with multiple competing demands, it can think deeply and creatively about the problem at hand. Focus gives space for insight, reflection, and breakthrough ideas. It enables you to see connections and possibilities that others miss because their attention is fragmented. Innovation thrives in the environment that focus creates. Finally, focus multiplies impact by inspiring others. When people witness someone who is steadfast and determined, they are motivated to follow or support that person's vision. Focus creates a magnetic energy that attracts allies, mentors, and opportunities. Your clear direction becomes a beacon for collaboration and collective progress. In summary, focus is not just about doing more. It is about doing more with purpose and excellence. It multiplies your impact because it concentrates your efforts, develops mastery, maximizes resources, sparks innovation, and inspires others. If you want to make a difference in your life or in the world, learning to focus deeply and consistently is one of the most powerful tools you can develop. The focused person prioritizes intentionally. This means that success is not found in doing everything, but in doing the right things, those activities that align most closely with your goals, values, and vision. Intentional prioritization is the art and discipline of deciding what matters most and dedicating your time and energy accordingly. It requires clarity about your purpose and the courage to say no to good things so you can say yes to the best things. In a world filled with endless demands, distractions, and opportunities, the ability to prioritize intentionally is a critical skill. Without it, people tend to get caught up in business, always active, always responding, but rarely advancing toward their true goals. Prioritization means stepping back and evaluating your tasks, commitments, and even relationships through the lens of your core purpose. It requires asking tough questions like, does this move me closer to my vision? Or is this worth my time and energy? Intentional prioritization is about focus, but it goes deeper. It is about strategic choice. It involves recognizing that every moment is an opportunity cost. When you choose to spend time on one thing, you inevitably choose not to spend it on another. The focused person understands this and therefore chooses wisely. They do not let urgency dictate their agenda, but rather let importance lead the way. This principle also protects you from what is often called the tyranny of the urgent. Urgent tasks demand immediate attention, but are not always important. A person who prioritizes intentionally can distinguish between what requires immediate response and what deserves long-term commitment. This discernment ensures that they do not sacrifice their significant goals on the altar of short-term pressures. Intentional prioritization also demands discipline. It requires the ability to set boundaries around your time and energy. It means learning to say no to invitations, requests, or even habits that do not align with your highest priorities. This can be difficult, especially when faced with external pressures or internal doubts. But the focused person knows that guarding their priorities is essential to achieving meaningful results. Furthermore, prioritization is dynamic. It is not a one-time decision, but a continuous process of reflection and adjustment. As circumstances change, so too must your priorities. Staying connected to your purpose helps you adapt without losing focus. It prevents the scatter caused by shifting demands and helps you maintain a steady course toward your goals. When you prioritize intentionally, you increase your effectiveness and reduce overwhelm. You create space for deep work, the kind of focused effort that produces breakthrough results. You invest in what truly matters, and as a result, your progress accelerates. Prioritization empowers you to work smarter, not harder, by aligning your actions with your vision. In summary, the focused person prioritizes intentionally because success is not about doing everything. It is about doing the right things consistently. By choosing with clarity, setting boundaries, and adjusting as needed, you protect your focus and maximize your impact. Intentional prioritization is the practical expression of focus in everyday life. Focus is a product of internal conviction. It does not come simply from external circumstances or motivation, but from a deep, unshakable understanding of who you are and why you exist. Internal conviction is the anchor that holds your focus steady when the storms of distraction, doubt, and difficulty come. Without this conviction, focus becomes fragile and fleeting, vulnerable to every interruption and challenge. But when your conviction is strong, your focus becomes unwavering and powerful. Internal conviction is rooted in identity and purpose. When you know your true value and understand your unique calling, you are less likely to be swayed by the opinions, expectations, or distractions of others. This clarity of self gives you a reason to remain steadfast. It answers the why behind your actions, the deeper motivation that fuels perseverance. Focus born from conviction is not dependent on mood or circumstance. It is sustained by a sense of destiny and commitment. Moreover, conviction sharpens your vision. It transforms vague desires into clear goals. When you believe deeply in your purpose, you see your path more clearly. You understand what is necessary and what is irrelevant. This clarity helps you allocate your time and energy wisely. Instead of being scattered or overwhelmed, you move with precision and confidence. Your conviction eliminates hesitation and indecision because it provides a firm foundation on which to build your plans and take action. Focus grounded in internal conviction also empowers resilience. Challenges and setbacks are inevitable on any meaningful journey. Without conviction, it is easy to give up when obstacles arise. But conviction reminds you why you started and strengthens your resolve to keep going. It turns difficulties into lessons and delays into preparation. This inner strength is what allows focused individuals to endure and eventually overcome the hurdles that would stop others. Additionally, conviction fosters discipline and consistency. When you truly believe in your purpose, you are motivated to develop the habits and routines necessary for sustained focus. Discipline becomes less about obligation and more about devotion to your cause. You willingly make sacrifices and maintain boundaries because your conviction makes those choices meaningful. This consistency builds momentum, turning small, focused actions into significant progress over time. Internal conviction also guards against distraction. The world is full of competing voices and temptations that seek to divert your attention. Without a strong internal compass, it is easy to be led astray. But conviction acts like a filter, helping you recognize what aligns with your mission and what does not. It keeps you anchored in your values and priorities, enabling you to say no to what is irrelevant or harmful. This selective attention sharpens your focus and conserves your energy for what truly matters. Finally, focus born from internal conviction inspires others. When people see someone who is deeply committed and unwavering, they are drawn to that strength. Conviction radiates confidence and purpose, creating an influence beyond what is possible through effort alone. Your focused life becomes a testimony to what is possible when you are rooted in something greater than fleeting desires. In summary, focus is not a superficial skill. It is a profound product of internal conviction. This conviction, grounded in identity and purpose, sharpens vision, builds resilience, fosters discipline, guards against distraction, and inspires others. Cultivating this inner strength transforms focus from a momentary effort into a lifelong way of living.